Good morning YouTube, the Lofty Bike here. I'm back up at Saltash, JD Racing. They say the future's orange, but it might be red, you know. We've got a GAS GAS today. The GAS GAS ES700 adventure. Really looking forward to this one. See you in a minute. Well, here we go, YouTube. The future isn't orange, but it might be red. Look at this little beauty. The GAS GAS ES700. Here we go. Okay YouTube, Lofty Biker here. Right, it appears the way KTM are doing things now with this supermoto and adventure bikes, you can have it in two flavours if you like. You can have the KTM Supermoto R or the KTM 690 Adventure. They're both the single cylinder 690 engines, or you can have a whole different feel. It's very similar bike, but it's so different, it's quite funny. It's red. It's amazing. You can buy what's called the GAS GAS ES700. The ES is the Adventure, so it's got big wheels and knobblies, or the Supermoto 700, which has got the 17-inch rims. They're basically the same bike in different clothes. Same engine, made in the same factories, I believe. So there you go. The first thing I notice when I get on this one is it feels a little bit taller, and it's got Mickey Mouse ears. I like Mickey Mouse ears. And it's red. Everybody loves a red bike, don't they? You know what I mean? You can't fault it being red. I'm not a big orange fan, but I like red. So here we go, we're coming into the National. It's very similar to the other one. It goes better the more revs you give it. Once you build those revs to about 5,000–6,000, it does actually pick its skirt up and take off lovely. We've got the same vibration through the bars, and it feels slightly different because we've got those knobbly tyres on. You do get the feeling of like it's toppling in slightly, whereas the Supermoto was so smooth with those S21s, it just rolls into the bend. Well, this is a bit taller, got slightly, like I say, slightly bigger wheels, running a 21 on the front, and you get a whole different feeling. I'll just wait for these two cars and we'll do an overtake. Here we go. We've got the same sublime quick shifter. It is beautiful. But as I say, this one has a 21 on the front and an 18 on the back, so it does give you that different feeling. You just have to be a little bit more careful rolling it over into the bends. So here we come on the downhill section, doing a steady 50. This chap's moved over for me. He's obviously a big GAS GAS fan. God, I feel like I'm king of the road on this. It's so tall. I'm looking down on the roofs of the cars in front. It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. When I pulled off the car park, I gave the back brake a good stab, and I noticed that the ABS isn't as refined for some reason, whereas I never had a hint of locking the back wheel on the Supermoto. This, it did lock the back wheel up, so I know why. The traction control's off. Okay, I've not done no overtakes, so I'm back a sec. One thing, when you're doing 35-40, you can actually feel the blocks slightly moving, slightly squirming underneath the tyres. I don't know what sort of feeling it'd give us as it's had more use. It's quite a strange feeling, but they're very new, very blocky. This bike's done nothing. It's, like I say, it's a brand new bike, more or less. It's had a bit of a running in schedule. So here we are, we're going to take a right down the lane, so we'll see if it's any better than the old Supermoto. One thing I learned was steady it on the back to come to a stop. If you give it too much on the front, it plays up a bit, so. Let the back wheel move out then. This is great fun. Here we go. I'll do a brake test after I've done the walk round, because the bit where I normally do it on, there was too much traffic. I've got to say the difference in suspension is noticeable over the Supermoto. This is so much more compliant over the bumps. It has got different units on. It's not got the Apexes on, it's got the Explorers, and you can't half tell. I must admit, if I was going to be riding crappy back lanes, I would definitely go for the Adventure over the Supermoto. The Supermoto seems more at home on fast B roads, A roads, you know, sort of like 45, 55, 65 up to 70, no faster, because you don't really want to be doing them sort of speeds on a single. But this, it's going down this horrible old back lane and I'm hardly feeling anything. It's just so supple and compliant. It's eating up the bumps. Here we got that nasty little left-hander. Oh, there we go, back wheel. Oh, we got a good skid out of it. I'm sure I'm in the wrong traction control, I must be. Let's just have a look. Okay, so I've got the traction control on and I've knocked it into mode 1. Let's just have a look. We'll go up the hill. Ah, that's it. That's the difference. When you're in mode 2, it allows you to lock the back wheel up for when you're off-roading. It turns the ABS off. Andy said on the other one, puts it in Supermoto mode. With this, it just puts it into some sort of off-road mode where you lock the back wheel up. I don't really want to be locking the back wheel up. I'm on tarmac, although it's not the best of tarmac. Here we go, big brakes, big brakes. You can tell this hasn't got the radial Brembos on. It doesn't quite haul it up so quickly. But they're good, they're all right. You soon get used to the narrowness and just gripping it with your knees. I should imagine somebody with far more experience than me would be coming down here on the back wheel at 65. But that's not my forte. I'm doing a bike review, not showing off. I've got to say, instantly, on these roads I feel so much more comfortable on the ES or the Adventure, whichever way you look at it. And I do like the red. Yeah, this is me, this is. The Supermoto's a barrel of laughs, but I do think it can be a bit of a one-trick pony. Whereas this ES700, I think you could be off-roading round the green lanes, jumping off banks, doing whatever you fancy. Yeah, it's a lovely piece of kit. Do you know, I had a motocrosser back in the day. I had a 2-stroke. It was KTM, of course. I love KTMs. I had a 350 2-stroke. And you know, it felt, riding this now just takes me back to the days when I used to off-road and motocross. I absolutely love this. So we've got a bit better road now. This was the road that the Supermoto excelled on. Yeah, once you get used to that front wheel with a blocky tread, it's not bad. It holds a good line. I think I'd want to be a bit more cautious if it were wet. You know, the S22-17s, they'd be fine in the wet, but these off-roady tyres, not quite so much so. I wish there was a green lane round here. I'd take it down and show you. Okay, so here we are, back at the island. This is where we do the walk round. Shall we go down the island? We'll go down the island. Here we go. Oh, the van's in the way. He spoilt it. He spoilt my journey. Let's open it up now. Yeah, it's fine, that is. It's okay. She never even looked, did she? But still, it don't matter. I'm turning left. Whoa, nearly caught a magpie. How about that? Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. Ooh, as I say, the brakes ain't just patch on the Supermoto brakes. So here we are. Let's hope it's all nice and quiet. We'll do a little walk round. Well, good morning YouTube. What do you think of this beauty? Now I've got to say, I've ridden some bikes lately, all sorts. This does give you a bit of a buzz. If you want to go green laning, if you want to have a bit of a hoon on the back lanes, if you want to have a bit of fun, this could be the job. It's so light, so much poke for a little bike. It's tall, don't get me wrong, it's tall, but it's beautiful. It's a 2022 GAS GAS. These are brand new for this year. They've never been out before. Okay, it's a KTM, but it's a statement. It's a GAS GAS. It's the ES700. Same basic engine, but in a different kettle of fish altogether. So there you go, very tall. So as I sit on it, my legs are dead straight. The suspension just there, it just drops slightly and I fall to the floor. Yeah. So leg room, metal pegs, no rubbers, metal all round, loads of room. Very similar. Sitting here, it feels similar. It's just it's red. And it's got Mickey Mouse ears. I love the Mickey Mouse ears. I'm a Mickey Mouse ears fan. I don't care what other people say. I really like this bike. I've had an absolute ball on them back lanes. When I realised what the traction control was, I'll tell you a bit about that now. Let's have a talk about it. There you go. No orange on this one, is there? This one's red. Red all over. Look at that. So we'll walk round. GAS GAS. Can't believe how different it looks, you know, for pretty much the same basic bike. Looks so different. Let's have a look what we've got. So, keys in the same place, turn it. So we've got gear indicator, speedo, odo. So whatever was happening with them 8s flashing on the other bike, I don't know, but this one's showing 164 miles. There's no, I didn't mention before, there's no full gauge, there's just a light that comes on to tell you you're on reserve. So we're in neutral, so kill switch. There we are, beautiful thrum. Have a listen. That's a reassuring thump, isn't it? I don't know, it's made me smile, this bike, as I tell you. Let's tell you about it. Let's give you the stats. That's what we want to know, the stats. So it's a 2022 GAS GAS Enduro, the ES700. 692 and a bit single. 74 brake horsepower at 8,000 revs. 54.2 foot-pounds at 6.5. We've got a 6-speed chain drive. White Power Explorer. Now these are the Explorer range. These are developed from the off-road. Upside down forks. They're lovely, aren't they? They are, I'll tell you what, they're so compliant, they're beautiful. Same sort of size, 48mm on the front. And we've got the monoshock on the back. It's in the same place, slotted down through the frame behind the gearbox and the clutch. Look at that. Long swinging arm. Pretty much the same bike, but it's just dressed different. We've got big wheels. So let's come round to the front. So we've got slightly different calipers. We're running a 300mm. We've got a Brembo twin pot. None of the exotica of the radials. This is standard twin pot. You don't quite need as much heavy braking on an enduro style bike as what you would on a road bike. We're running Continental TKC 80s. Now, to be fair, this is the first time I've ridden a bike with TKC 80s, and everybody raves about them and says how good they are. I find them okay. As I say, they're a bit blocky, but they're good. They're very good. Coming around the back, there's the chain, long chain, plenty of suspension travel, and we got the single pot Brembo on the back. 240mm on the back. So what are we running on this? We've got 90 90 21s on the front and a 140 80 18 on the back. So it's big rubber, isn't it? Same tyres, Contis, they're great. Now then, the seat height, 935. 935. God, that's lofty, isn't it? That's tall. 13.5 litre fuel tank, the same, which is under the seat at the back. You sit on the fuel tank. We're running it. The actual stats are 147 dry. It works out about 170. But by the time you've put sort of 14 litres of fuel in and some oil and whatever, it's going to be 170 kilos wet. This bike retails the same as the other one. They're £9,350. 9,350. It's a lot of money for a single, but to be fair, it's a lot of bike. It's got everything. Just look at it. It's got the lot in it. It's absolutely gorgeous, I think. Can't believe the difference by just painting the bike red over orange and grey. You know me, I don't really like the orange that much, and I hate grey coloured cars and bikes. So for me, bright red, shiny red, beautiful. I should imagine the plastics wouldn't cost a lot if you dropped it or whatever. It's a cracker. Let's get the helmets on, we'll do a brake test down the main road.
Okay, YouTube. I'm back. Just ticking over in 4th gear. Approaching the island. We're going to take a right back towards Saltash. There's a bit of traffic about again, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm getting used to the tyres now. It's took me a while, but it's different, but they're good. So here we are. Nothing behind me. Doing about 40-45, back brake. Right, so the traction control works well, the ABS works well. There's no problem at all with that. Not quite as sensitive as the Supermoto. So 45 front stoppers. A lot of dive, but you don't get that aggression you got off the radials. So here we are, 45-50, put them both on. Yeah, it comes to a stop. I don't suppose it's the type of bike you're supposed to be thrashing around and jamming the brakes on like a Supermoto. It's on, off, gas, gas, brake all the time. Whereas this, it's an enduro bike. It is an enduro bike. You could go across continents on this if you got some big fuel tanks, or some supplementary fuel tanks, I should say. Yeah, it's great fun. I think I can half understand why enduro bikes are slightly more popular nowadays than Supermotos. You know, they're that little bit more versatile, to be fair. You know, you can do a bit of everything on an enduro. Green lane it, back lanes, crappy little B roads, you name it. You can have a bit of fun. Whereas your Supermoto,
It just makes you want to thrash it about and be as naughty as you possibly can. There we go, look at that. Yeah, the quick shifter's set slightly different. It's not so aggressive, it's not so sensitive. You have to time your overtakes, you've not got blistering power, but with 75 or 74 brake, you've got more than enough on an A road to dispatch the traffic. Yeah, this bike's fun. Yeah, they're slightly different, aren't they? I suppose it's what you want out your Sunday afternoon bike. Some people want, you know, like a classic retro style. Then you got the supermoto style, or you got this, the adventure style. For me, living down here in Cornwall, I think I would choose the Enduro, the adventure style bike, over the other two because of the roads, because there's some poor roads, there's some uneven surfaces, some crappy back lanes, and don't forget we have lots of tourists down here, so when it gets too busy the main roads we ride are the crappy back lanes, and this bike is just made for those poor roads. You know, standing up, very, very comfortable, very comfortable indeed. Yeah, this is the sort of bike I could have fun on. It's not got that much power you're going to get yourself into trouble or nick for speeding. Like when I took the 1290 out, it was frightening. It was, you know, he says, why don't you take the Duke out, the big Duke, the Evo? I'm thinking, well, it's just mental. It's just so pokey. You can't really have fun on our roads on something so stupidly, insanely fast anymore. These hyper nakeds, if you want me to call it, hyper nakeds, they're track bikes really, with flat bars and no fairing. Whereas this little 700, 690, 700 single, it's great for having a ball on these crappy roads. I don't think I'm going to get another overtaking before the island. I don't feel the dive quite as much. I think it's because the brakes are so good on the SMCR. They are so good, they're unbelievable. Whereas this, you can approach the island and put the brakes on and you get a bit of dive but not too much. Use a bit of back brake as well, and it, you know, it's very steady, very stable. The fueling ain't bad either, considering it's basically a race bike. It's a supermoto in Enduro trim. Shall we get an overtaking? Ever so easy, no problem at all. And another one before the junction. Easy peasy. I might even get one more. Shall I do one more just to please you all? How about that? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's made me chuckle a few times. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to leave us a like, ding us the bell, subscribe, ask me a question. I'd be happy to help. If I can answer it, if I can help, I'll help you out, you know that. I'll just back off from this Mini. Yeah. I've had a bit of fun today. I'm coming up in well, maybe next week or the week after. I'm hoping to get a 125 to ride, and I'll probably take the big boy out, the 1290 Duke. How about that? The Evo. Anyway, this is the Lofty Biker saying ta-da for now. Ta-da.